There's a condiment so ancient, so deeply savory, that the Romans built entire trade routes around it. And today, you are going to learn how to make it yourself, from scratch, in your own kitchen. Welcome to Good Gut Feeling. I'm so glad you're here. This is a space where we explore the magic of fermentation and what it means to truly nourish and listen to your body. In this video, we are going to make something that might just change the way you think about flavor forever. We're making fish sauce, garum style, an ancient living condiment born from patience, salt, and the quiet intelligence of fermentation. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how this process works, what's happening inside the jar, and how to create a fish sauce that will make everything you cook taste more alive. Before we open a single jar, I want to share something that genuinely fascinates me about this sauce. Garum was the fish sauce of the ancient Romans. They added it to almost everything, the way we might reach for olive oil or sea salt today. It was produced in great ceramic vessels along the Mediterranean coast, and it was considered one of the most prized flavors in the known world. What the Romans knew, and what we are rediscovering today, is that fermentation doesn't just preserve food, it transforms it. It creates entirely new layers of flavor that were never there before. Fish sauce is what we call an umami bomb. That deep, round, almost indescribable savoriness that makes your mouth water before you even take a bite. And here's the beautiful part. What creates that umami is not some complicated chemical process. It's the enzymes already present in the fish themselves, doing exactly what they were designed to do. All we add is salt, thyme, and trust. Let me take just a moment to explain what's actually happening inside the jar, because once you understand it, the whole process becomes so much easier to trust. When we add salt at 20% by weight, that's 200 grams, or 7 ounces, per kilogram, or 2.2 pounds of fish, we create an environment where harmful bacteria simply cannot survive. The salt concentration is too high for them. But here's what I find remarkable. The salt does not stop the enzymes. Those tiny biological engines inside the fish, especially in the gut and the head, they keep working, quietly, patiently, breaking down proteins, molecule by molecule, into something entirely new. This process is called enzymatic hydrolysis, and the result, over months and months, is a rich, dark, amber liquid that is essentially concentrated, liquid umami. Isn't that extraordinary? The fish transforms itself. We are simply holding the space for it. Now, let's talk about what you'll need. And as always, the quality of what goes in directly shapes what comes out. For the fish, I love anchovy, or sardine. Small, oily, rich in enzymes and flavor, and, whenever possible, choose wild-caught over farmed. Wild fish live in their natural environment, feeding on what nature intended, and that shows directly in the depth of flavor and the quality of the enzymes they bring to this sauce. Farmed fish live in very different conditions, and the difference ends up in the jar. The most important thing, keep the heads and the entrails. I know that might feel a little unfamiliar at first, but those are exactly where the enzymes live. They are the quiet engine behind the whole transformation. For the salt, use a good natural sea salt or rock salt with absolutely no additives. Look for a label that says nothing more than sea salt or rock salt. No iodine, no anti-caking agents, no flow agents. Iodine is antibacterial, and we are cultivating bacteria. We want nothing interfering with that process. And if you ever buy fish sauce from a shop to compare or to cook with alongside your own, read the label carefully. The ingredient list should say fish and salt, and nothing more. No glucose syrup, no MSG, no sodium benzoate, no caramel coloring, no modified starch. These are all markers of industrial production. The shorter the list, the closer you are to real food. The dried kelp or dried oysters are entirely optional, but they add a wonderful oceanic depth that develops slowly over the months. Trust your instincts. All right, let's make something beautiful. Begin by cutting your fish into rough pieces, about 3 to 5 centimeters, or 1 to 2 inches. You don't need to be precise here. Leave the head and the entrails intact. These are your allies in this process. In a large bowl, combine the fish with your 200 grams or 7 ounces of salt. Mix gently but thoroughly until every surface is coated. Take your time. Notice the texture, the smell of fresh sea salt meeting fresh fish. Transfer the mixture into your sterilized glass jar. Then use a pestle or the back of a spoon to press the fish down firmly. We want to release the natural juices and remove any air pockets. If you're using kelp or dried oysters, tuck them in now. They'll weave their flavor slowly through everything around them. Now place a fermentation weight on top of the fish. A small glass or ceramic weight works perfectly. This keeps everything submerged beneath the brine, which is exactly where we want it. If you don't have a dedicated fermentation weight, a small Ziploc bag filled with brine works beautifully as a flexible alternative. The goal is simple: everything below the brine, always. Then seal your jar. I recommend a fermentation airlock. It allows carbon dioxide to escape without letting oxygen in. Cheesecloth secured with an elastic band works wonderfully too. Place the jar somewhere dark, at room temperature, ideally between 18 and 22 degrees Celsius, or 64 to 72 degrees Fahrenheit. And now comes the part that this whole process is really about. After 3 months, you'll have a young, lighter sauce. Already something remarkable. After 6 to 12 months, the flavor deepens into something truly extraordinary. Something you'll reach for again and again. When the time feels right, and you'll know because the color and the aroma will tell you, it's time to harvest. Pour the contents through a fine sieve lined with cheesecloth or a coffee filter over a clean bowl. Take your time. Let gravity do its work. What collects in the bowl is your fish sauce. Transfer it into small sterilized bottles. It keeps well in the fridge for up to a year, though in my experience it rarely lasts that long. Now please don't throw away what's left in the sieve. This concentrated paste is one of my favorite things that comes out of this entire process. Press it through a fine sieve to remove any remaining bones. What you're left with is an incredibly flavorful fish paste, gorgeous as a base for curry pastes. Spread on a crostini with a little lemon zest, or stirred into a butter sauce for fish. A thin layer of olive oil on top will keep it fresh in the fridge for weeks. Nothing wasted. Everything transformed. Now, let's talk about what to do with this liquid gold once it's ready. The most magical thing about fish sauce is that it doesn't taste like fish. It tastes like depth, like richness, like the feeling of a dish that has something you can't quite name but absolutely cannot miss. A few drops stirred into a bolognese, a stew, or a soup will add a layer of savoriness that makes people ask, "What is your secret?" Whisked into a Caesar dressing or an Asian vinaigrette, it transforms the whole bowl. Mixed with garlic and lime, it becomes a stunning marinade for meat or vegetables. And if you make kimchi, which I hope you do, because we have a beautiful episode on that too, your homemade fish sauce will take it to another level entirely. Or try a nam prik, a traditional Thai dipping sauce, where your homemade garum becomes the soul of the whole dish. This sauce is quiet, patient, generous, just like the process that created it. A few things worth knowing, so nothing catches you off guard. During fermentation, your jar will smell. That's completely natural, and it's part of the process. A healthy ferment smells salty, savory, and intensely marine. Think, a powerful anchovy aroma. What you want to avoid is a truly rotten or putrid smell that would signal something has gone wrong. If in doubt, trust your nose. It always knows. If you notice a thin white film on the surface, don't worry. This is often harmless cham yeast. Simply skim it off and make sure your fish stays submerged beneath the brine. That's exactly what your fermentation weight is there for. And always begin with sterilized equipment. Bring your jars and tools to a boil in water for 10 minutes before you start. A clean beginning makes for a beautiful result. Today we made something ancient together, something patient, something alive. A fish sauce that carries within it months of quiet transformation and a flavor that no factory, no supermarket shelf can ever replicate. If this feels like a big commitment, just start small. 1 kilogram of fish, 200 grams of salt, a jar on a shelf, and see what happens. Fermentation teaches us patience. It teaches us to trust processes we cannot fully see or control. And in that way, it is not so different from nourishing our own gut, our own body, our own health, one small loving step at a time. I would love to hear how your fish sauce adventure goes. Leave a comment below. Tell me what fish you used, how long you waited, what it tasted like the first time you added it to a dish. This community grows richer with every story you share. If this resonated with you, I'd be so grateful if you liked this video and subscribe to my channel. Every click helps this little community grow, and the more we grow, the more we can explore together. Thank you so much for being here. Until next time, take good care of yourself, inside and out.